Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Loading everyone in, and then I'm going to organize everyone here. So what we are going to go over, by the way, I'm Melinda. This is Brittany, for those of you who don't know, but this is the Body by Todd group for the Fit Coach Academy. Our discussion today, understanding fitness fundamentals, short introduction, who we are as a company, our vision for AMP Up, the importance of networking, our new marketing approach, diet and fitness strategy. So that's what we're covering. Now, a lot of you do not know our story, so I'm going to give you an understanding of our story so you can get a better understanding of how this is our new startup and what's going to happen with this startup. So some of you are aware or may not be aware that we actually were on the Inc. 500 list, and we got on this list. You have to qualify over 3 years to actually get on the Inc. 500, and we did that. And we took our company to #1. That's Todd right there in the corner. So they actually put a whole article about Todd in the magazine. Anyway, we're #1 fastest growing food and beverage in America. We're number 19 fastest growing company in America out of 28 million companies that are actually real companies in the United States of America. Our company went to number 19 on the centerfold. So this is the non-nude centerfold that we were a part of with Inc. 500. Anyway, what did we do? We ended up growing at 10,000% growth. Why is that important? Because that's pretty much how we do things. We are always trendsetters. We're always up in front. We always do something new and innovative, and that makes us grow really fast because so many people are out in the world, and when they hear something new and something hot that's going on, they want to take advantage of it, and that's what causes rapid growth, and that's what we always do. Todd is a visionary. He's always out in front, most of the time 10 years in advance, and so that's kind of what's going to happen again. So what we're doing with this is what we did with Inc. 500, and we made over $11.2 million that year that we qualified, from $11.8 million from 119,000 the first year of the 3 years. That growth occurred from all of the work we did online. It was a fully online company. This was not something, you can't generate that kind of revenue with service, with training people, with having gyms. It's just too slow. The money's made too slow, but you can do that with products and products that are sold internationally and nationally.
When you have total control over your products and all the manufacturing, then you can go that fast.
Yeah.
If we didn't have control over that, then we couldn't.
Yeah. So that is one of the main reasons why the growth occurred so quickly. Well, now, so what we decided to do, instead of go down the track of a GNC, Walmart retail place that could put our products, that doesn't match us. We're not corporate people, so that's why we're not going to go down that track. And so we said, what are we going to do? What's going to work for us? And so the best thing for us is we want to take a direct approach with people that will actually look the part and then be able to rep. The main thing that for you to understand is in the way that we grow, we like to grow organically, and we also don't want a corporate feel. We want it to be fun, and we want this entire process to actually be fun, including these lessons. So with these lessons, we're going to make them fun. We're going to make them move quick. I don't want a lot of downtime on this stuff because it's actually fun to actually learn really good things that you're interested in, and you're obviously all of you are already fitness enthusiasts. So we're going to cut through the chase and actually go to the most important bullets. You can study deeper on the pages on your own. So that's the big thing about where we were and what we did in business. Another thing is how to not be intimidated. So what you're looking at here between the two of us, she's got 18 years in this field. I've got almost 30. So we are beyond, it takes 10,000 hours to be a master in something. So we have mastered diet, weight loss, supplements, you name it. And so we're going to talk kind of fast. I don't want you getting intimidated like, oh my God, that's a lot of shit. Oh my God, it's going to take me forever to understand that. No, it's not. So when you just learn at a fun, natural pace, you'll be able to understand it and go. Some of you, if you've had jobs 10, 15, 20 years, you're already a master at that level. So I just want you to grasp that this is new information for you. And on some level it is. And a lot of times it's probably going to shock you, because we always take an approach that's the opposite of what the herd is doing. If they're all saying go in this direction with your diet, we see that they're full of shit and we go the other way, and we're usually always right when we pick the opposite direction. So just understand that.
But part of what makes it easier to learn and pick up is that you're actually doing it on yourself.
Yeah.
And if there's something you don't know, like I just had a number of clients, Irina, for example, who had babies. I couldn't remember everything off the top of my head about nutrition and working out during pregnancy, but you can just go Google anything and just look it up, refresher, and then it all comes back.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The fact that you can Google anything, that's really big. So just, if you start to feel like, wow, this is a lot of info, I feel intimidated, just kind of calm it down. There's nothing to be intimidated about. It actually, when you are enjoying it and you're going through it kinesthetically, hands-on, it makes it, you'll start to absorb it so much more.
Yeah, so like when we're talking about the diet and insulin resistance, which we're going to get to next, don't think you have to memorize it for a test. Think about it in terms of, you can go back and obviously print this off and review it, but think about it in terms of when you're doing the diets we have you try out, think about what you're going through and what you're feeling, and then you'll know to say to yourself like, oh, it's because I have low blood sugar right now, or oh, I feel that way after I ate this because now my insulin's in check, so that's a good sign.
Yeah.
So think about it in terms of applying it to yourself, not taking a test.
Yep, exactly. That's exactly how this needs to be, where you feel the application to you, first and foremost. We are not available to the public, so our products that we use and that several of you Body by Todd people have been using, first of all, we would test everything out on the Body by Todd clients and get all the yeses or nos to the protein or the fat burners or a detox. And so these products are not available to anyone else. So they're available to you. They're available to the people that come here that we're testing out on, and just to models, pro athletes, and some collegiate and high school level athletes. Other than that, no one else is on these. So this is going to be a very new launch, and we'll be using the fit coaches, the spokesmodels, to launch this product out. So just understand, no, this product is not out there yet. You are going to be the first users pretty much of doing a lot of the product line. All right, we're moving on. Next page of this is, okay.
All right. So number one, when it comes to diet, we focus on managing your insulin levels and looking at insulin resistance. And then that causes your weight to be under control and causes a person to lose weight and get to a healthy weight. So it's never just about the scale. It's never just about a pant size. Those things are all consequences of what you're doing. And the amazing thing about focusing on insulin in the way that we're going to do it with these diets is that it literally controls your hunger. So for people that are athletes, for people that do work out hard, that's so important, because working out is awesome in that it increases your metabolism. But then on the other side of that, it increases your metabolism. So you end up being really hungry after a hard workout. So the way that you can control your hunger and your appetite is through controlling the things that you put in your body that either trigger your insulin or keep it under control. And the other thing about insulin is that it's not like a one shot and you blew it. It's not like you blow a diet in like one cookie or one meal or even one day. It's something that gets under control over time, and you start to feel different over time. And then your body starts to process food differently permanently. So even if you eat, bad for one day or fall off the wagon or have a holiday or whatever, it will be fine. It'll be amazing how fast your body will snap back into eating healthy, wanting healthy foods. You won't have as much fluctuation on the scale after a holiday or vacation. And it really just makes all of the yo-yo scale up and down, yo-yo dieting things and all the psychoticness that comes with it disappear. Okay, link between insulin and weight gain. You can read through this in detail. This is your textbook. Remember that. Just remember that a high insulin body environment can cause a person to gain weight. So basically that just means that your body's so flooded with insulin that A, it can't burn body fat, and B, it can't even burn up the food that you're taking in.
Exactly.
So insulin regulates your blood sugar, helps convert your body or your food into fuel, and then either burn it up or store it. So that is what we're going to be focusing on, getting under control with these diets we have you do, and just be aware of that in what you're eating.
That's an important thing for you to understand about all of our detoxes and any diet that we put you on. Those diets are based on controlling your insulin. So IEC, which is intermittent eating cycles, which is what we use, which is the same as intermittent fasting, but we'll just tell you why we do a little bit different than that, is that is to control your insulin. So that's the science behind half of you doing all these different diets we put you on. The main thing we make sure on that diet is we're controlling your insulin.
And part of the reason why we had to name it something else is because people start Googling intermittent fasting and things like that. And then I had a couple clients come back to me and say that they were fasting like 18 hours. And as a female, that can start to fuck with your hormones in really bad ways. So just know that we've tried everything on the spectrum. We've researched everything. And the things that we recommend, like I said, you guys are all learning it based on you. It's all based on us and what our personal experience has been and what our personal research has been.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, this next page, this is a Harvard study. And so our CEO, Todd, graduated from Harvard Business School. So he gets...
And we went there for his graduation.
Yep.
And met everyone.
Yep. And it is, he does a lot of work with Harvard, a lot of studies, and gets a lot of feedback on MIT nutrition and the cutting edge stuff and so forth.
And MIT.
And MIT, because they're all connected. All those Ivy League schools always send information to their alumni. So anyway, this one is talking about if you're taking a brisk walk, this is going to lead into this hormone that we're going to talk about, which is going to be a big thing about your authority. So the reason that we want people to be fit coaches or spokesmodels or health coaches with us is you've got to have a level of authority that when you get in shape and your friend or your coworker or your spouse or somebody says, how'd you lose the weight? Instead of you saying, go over to Jenny Craig, go over here, go over there, you're making no money. So that's stupid, number one. Number two, you have to have an authority level coming off of you, some information coming off of you, that when you go to explain what you did and why it was so unique and different, they're like, sign me up. I want to do it. I want to be like you. I want to do what you do. And so that's why we're filling you with a lot of this science and research, but on a really basic level, nothing too complicated. Anyway, so this research, they were researching body chemistry, and they were talking about what happens to the body and what happens to your muscles. So muscles get the energy by burning fat and sugar brought to them by the blood. Okay. So what happens is there is a hormone called irisin. And so the way that this Harvard study was talking about, it said irisin travels throughout the body in the blood and alters fat cells. Body fat is stored inside fat cells. Most of these fat cells are white fat cells, and their function is to store fat. But brown fat, which we've talked about this before, brown fat is what heats the body up. So brown fat is mainly around our organs. So it keeps the heart warm, liver warm, thyroid, all that. And brown fat burns energy. And most guys have more brown fat than white fat. So that's why they lose weight quicker at a pace of about 30% faster than females.
And that's why they have a higher body temperature.
And they have a much higher, you sleep next to a guy at night, it feels like you're sleeping right next to a furnace after he falls asleep. So they have a lot more brown fat, and it makes them so much hotter. And that's why they lose weight 30% quicker. So you need to know that. A female loses weight 30% slower than a man because she has more white fat and less brown fat. But when you read this further, you'll see that you can actually cause your body to make more brown fat cells. So you're going to get deeper into the study of that on your own. But this is a really big component on the insulin and now on this hormone irisin.
And this also explains why women have to work out harder to lose weight. You literally have to move more to create more of the hormone to get up to the level where men naturally are. So yes, you have to work out harder. You see women doing more cardio, go for walks with your friends in the neighborhood. It's just to counterbalance and get your hormone levels up to the same fat burning level that men have genetically.
And we still won't get that high, but we still need to just keep upping it as much as we can. All right, next one. We've got about 60% is the change that can happen with exercise alone on stopping type 2 diabetes. Now, there's a such thing, most of you may not know, there's type 3 diabetes and there's type 4 diabetes. Well, most people are not going to talk about that. Most doctors aren't going to publish that, but it's actually real. Type 3 diabetes, I had that. That is insulin resistance. And so it's prior to you developing type 2 diabetes. You're craving sugar all the time. Your body fat's too high. Your triglycerides are too high. Your cholesterol's too high. You eat, nothing is making you full. You sleep, you wake up groggy and exhausted. You can't get a good night's rest. and you're not breaking down fat properly, and you're headed to type 2 diabetes.
And by the way, when you go to the doctor, they're going to say it's age and hormones for a lot of those things. And it's just your age, your body's changing naturally. This is just what happens. And then when they take your blood and they do all the numbers on everything that you just went through, they're going to say, okay, you need to be on this medication and this medication and this medication. So they're just going to put you on medication and then chalk the other part up to age, when it's actually a version of being pre-diabetic, and you can totally change it with diet.
Exactly. So type 4 diabetes is Alzheimer's, and Alzheimer's is just blood sugar. And so if any of you have not heard this, just using the example of Ronald Reagan had Alzheimer's so bad, and he caused it. It wasn't just caused. And he was eating 8 pounds of jelly beans every week, 7 days a week. That man had beautiful crystal jars put in every single location that all over Washington, D.C. that he visited, to make sure that they always had his Jelly Belly jelly beans there.
Yeah.
And then he got that horrendous level of Alzheimer's. My grandmother had it. She had Smarties candies in her apron, eating those all day long. Her waist was probably, I want to say, maybe 58 inches around, maybe 4'11", 58-inch waistline, and eating Smarties candies all day, and forgets all humanity by the age of like 79, just eating that candy for decades. So type 4 diabetes is Alzheimer's. And so again, all this stuff is caused by this insulin being fucked up. And so the more you guys understand insulin, the more we talk about it, the more you get the experience in your own body. Wow, you'd be like, you can start to feel like you don't have to have fear of getting type 2 diabetes or some other kind of complication, even with pregnancy.
Right.
So the pregnancies that get the diabetes, they were eating too many carbs, too much sugar for them, for their body type.
And all food breaks down into glucose and will eventually affect your insulin. But between the types of foods that we have you eat most of the time, and then the intermittent eating cycling, and then cutting out the processed sugars, those are the 3 ways that you can change your diet and affect your insulin resistance level overall.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I had type 3 diabetes so bad, insulin resistance so bad. 1 Star Mint candy that they give you after you eat out, for your breath, I would have a head rush. I couldn't even process 1 candy. So that's just like getting a buzz, dizzy, that type of thing. That's how you know your insulin is just really jacked up.
But then also craving it.
Yep. All right, we're moving on. Okay, so still talking about Irisin. Again, you're going to read that further.
Details.
Yep, deeper into that. All right, you're moving into this.
All right, science-backed ways to lose weight. All right, so we already told you a little bit about our version of intermittent fasting. Again, if you decide to Google it, or if somebody Googles it, just know there's a lot of shit out there. One of the things that somebody told me was that you should only eat protein first thing in the morning, and they were like, you fuck it up if you eat anything else. And I was like, who's going to do that every single day? That's not realistic.
Right.
So there's a lot of shit out there. It's too complicated. I've tried it. It doesn't work. It was not life-changing. So it's more hassle than it's worth. Anything that we tell people to do or that we recommend to do, it's based on what people are actually going to do and what they have the tolerance to do. So if somebody says you should eat spinach and Brussels sprouts every single day and dried chicken, well, that's lovely, but who is actually going to do that? Not me.
Right.
So you have to think about who you're talking to and what they're actually going to do.
And have some empathy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I would never do that to someone, so you're not doing that shit to me.
Right, and also think about yourself. Like if you would never do it, you're not going to recommend it to anybody else.
Right.
So there's a lot of great advice out there. Some of it's just plain stupid.
Yeah.
As in nobody's going to do it.
Right.
Several research-backed strategies can aid weight loss, one of which is intermittent fasting, which the version of it that we do, we call it intermittent eating cycling, so people don't Google it and come up with other harebrained schemes. Short-term intermittent fasting. A lot of information.
Well, one of the main things that I would say about this is we've used it for years. We love it. Why? Because it controls your insulin. So every time you fast, let's say last time you eat is 10 p.m. at night, and then you don't eat again until 10 p.m. the next day, you've already done a 12-hour intermittent fast.
Right.
And so the longer you go without eating, the more it drives your insulin down.
Yeah.
The more often you eat in between meals, every time you eat, no matter what it is, you spike your insulin up. So what our whole theory is you keep the amount of times that your insulin gets set off as low as possible. And then you have this nice fasting window that's happening 12, 14, 16 hours. We alternate it, then the body never picks up a pattern and it's always burning fat for you. If you just get in that habit, like this says, the 16-8 method, 16 hours of fasting, 8 hours of eating, that's a pain in the ass, number one. Can't do it all the time, number two. Sometimes it'll throw the hormones off of a female, number three. It's just a little too hard. So it's best to fluctuate your intermittent eating cycle.
Yeah, and your body naturally fluctuates anyway. So it's like, as you know, mostly women on this call, as a female, you know, when you're PMSing, you're hungry. So maybe that's the week when you have a longer eating window and you don't fast as much. Yeah. I also noticed that when I'm trying to eat fewer calories, sometimes it helps if I do a little bit larger window with fewer calories, just because I'm too starving when I wake up. So I want a little bit of something, want a little bit of something, a little bit of something. So we're giving you the basis of these things, but then you can play around with it and just figure out like what works for you.
Exactly. Okay, tracking your diet and exercise. So if you're really serious about getting to your goal, you actually have to start tracking things in the way that will work for you. So some people, like on my phone, I have that little Steps app. Obviously, most of you have the watches. You got all that stuff. Watching how many miles you're putting in a day. Watching how many calories or carbs, if you're looking at carbs and protein. You need to actually look at that, and you need to get on the scale. How many times I have people say, I'm just too afraid to get on the scale. No, this is where we're going to talk a little bit of truth here. You need to get your ass on the scale, okay? And the reason you got to get on the scale, I've tested, I weigh more after a bath. I weigh more after a workout. I don't weigh less. I weigh more after a workout. It just changes so much in a whole day's time, but over 7 days, the low weight for the week is what you weigh. Now, another thing that you need to understand is you need to be harder on yourself because of what it's going to do to your brain. So if you say, I'm just a little overweight, I just got to lose a little bit of weight. Your brain says, we don't have to work that hard. We still got it. And no, you don't still have it. When you say, this is ridiculous, I do not like how I look, my gut is way too fucking fat, I got to drop this gut, I got to drop this fat off my ass, whatever it is, I need to lose 6 inches off my waist. You need to say the truth. And when you say the truth, your brain goes, it takes you serious. And it goes, what are you doing? We're supposed to be walking. We don't have enough miles in yet for the day. And so when you talk soft to yourself, you're going to act soft. If you talk the truth, not low self-esteem, just, no, I'm too fat. I got to drop this weight. I need to get my ass out here and walk this morning.
And also, number one, just admit that, like, it feels like shit on some of the levels to be overweight.
Yeah.
Most of all, athletically. Like, there's a certain weight where it's like, do not cross that line.
Yeah, and you
otherwise
cross it.
I can't run. Like, it's too painful.
Yeah.
And then also understand that, like, whatever, if you feel like it sucks and all your fat parts are moving around, guess what? Your knee joints don't like that either.
Yeah.
So whatever it feels like humiliating you on the outside,
you need to say
do things at a certain weight, just understand, like, your joints don't like that. They don't like it either.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just be real honest and say, all right, well, I'm going to start out walking. Yeah. Let's walk every day. And just every time you're walking, say, this is feeling better.
Yeah.
My thighs don't rub as much. Yeah. I don't feel as heavy and hefty. Yeah. I can get up the stairs easier.
Exactly.
And then when you start, jogging, running, doing more athletic things, just like pay attention to the positive feedback of, feels so good to do this. My body performs so well.
Yeah.
So get real in touch with that optimal weight where you actually feel good, because that's going to be the main thing that drives you to stay there. Because you can, put your jeans on, you're like, they're a little snug. They still zip. I don't really care. But when you have your ass in the middle of an athletic workout and you're like, this sucks hauling this much weight around. Yeah. That's the number one thing that I found that motivates me to keep my weight in that optimal zone.
Yeah. So don't think that motivation is talking nice to yourself, being all soft, and that's not how you motivate another human being either. So you got to get someone who's being lazy off of their lazy ass. But so I use these examples. I'm going to give you an example. That's on camera. Okay, there we go. All right, so we have an example right here. You see that solid fat. And the cause of this is that, scoot over, is this. It's the couch. The couch makes this. So the less you move, the more of this you make. Our bodies are either liquid, burning fat, solid, getting a fat gut, getting a fat ass, fat on the back, bra fat. This comes from coldness, that couch. So the less you move, the more solid you make your body fat. The more you move, the more liquid you make it, the more inches you lose, the more you're melting. So it's real. It's actually really, 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 really real. Notice this is a non-waist habit motherfucker right here, right? We got no waistline on this right here. So coldness makes solid. Heat burns. Heat burns. So anytime you're wondering or having a bad attitude day, I don't know why I'm not losing weight. The answer is really easy. For your metabolism, you didn't move enough. You didn't burn enough. Get your ass back outside and walk another 5 miles, whatever. It's not enough for you. And so that's a big thing that you have to understand. When we got to get celebrities ready for movies, we were getting celebrities ready for, I'm trying to think of the movie, Black Panther. So when we were getting celebrities ready for Black Panther, they have to be in pure honesty. They have to listen to what we're saying. They have to drop the weight. They've got to actually burn the calories. They got to work out for 4 or 5 hours a day. It doesn't matter. They have to get in these costumes. And so that's the truth that you have to say. So if you're looking down at your stomach, you feel your stomach on your lap, you better get in the truth here. The stomach on your lap is not a joke. I was there. If you're feeling your abs on your lap, you got some burning to do. And so that's a big thing. So that's why we talk about foods that are going to help you burn and then your activity that's going to help you burn. But both of them have to work together. It can get daunting, but I always talk people out of feeling daunted. It's only daunting because you've been sitting on the couch too much and making up too much thick fat. And it's also very dangerous. And so it's starting to thick around your trunk. It gets thick around all your organs. It's going to cause sleep apnea. You're going to start choking at night. It's not a joke. It's all internal body fat that's too thick. It's not soft and melting off. And so this is the part that we're going to keep teaching you over the 12 weeks. You're going to get to the point where you're like, oh my God, I feel so good. I know what I'm doing. Even if you decide not to do it, at least you know. And so when you know and you're not wondering and guessing, how do I get this weight off? You're going to feel a level of confidence that's going to ooze out of you. And when this oozes out of you, people are going to say, give me your card. Give me your number. I'm signing up. I want to do what you're doing. But you have to tell the truth first about yourself, to yourself. Okay, so tracking stuff, get on the scale, weigh yourself no matter how it feels, just get on there.
On the more empathetic side of things, also, the reason that I tell people to weigh themselves every day is not so they can be OCD about it, but so they can actually understand the variety of things that are going to affect your scale weight so you can tell other people.
Yeah.
So there's no such thing as you literally lost 4 pounds of fat in one day. That's not happening. But you could go down 4 pounds on the scale in one day. And it could be just water weight because it's the first day you quit eating like shit.
Yeah.
Or it could be because you sweat your ass off yesterday. That's all fine. All those things are fine. But if you track it every day, you start to see like, oh, I ate a bowl of pasta yesterday. All right, it's up a little bit today. Or I sweat my ass off yesterday and then it's down today. Yeah. So don't think it's one thing always causes one answer. There's so many variables. The more that you track it, the more your brain will not feel fucked over when you get on the scale and you're like, that motherfucker is up. And you feel like throwing in the towel. You're like, I fucking quit. Nothing's working.
That's not
Everything's been there.
It's not the truth.
So the more you weigh yourself on a daily basis, the more you'll still feel irrational. You'll be like, fuck you, to the scale in the morning. And then you'll be like, all right, fine. Just, do the same shit today. It's fine. It'll be fine. And then it'll be down tomorrow. So don't go eat like six cupcakes.
Yeah. And I think that thing of you see the scale not moving, then you go binge or you go pick out on something. What you're doing is you're doing a form of punishing and you're rebelling against you. And so that's the whole thing that we're going to try to get you to get this understanding here. Stop rebelling against you. Stop getting so mad at you or the science. It's just the science of your body.
Or you just don't understand. So out of ignorance, you're punishing yourself for the wrong reason. Because one of the number one things that nobody ever told me.
Yeah.
I learned this years in. Let's just put it that way. And now I tell people all the time, if you're sore, your body's holding water weight.
Oh, yeah.
So if you worked out hard yesterday or the day before or even 3 days before, you're going to be holding water weight for 3 days.
Easy.
At
5 pounds. 5 pounds a lot of weight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So people are like, I just worked out so hard. I'm
Yeah.
so proud of myself.
Uh-huh.
And then the next day they're like, my scale went up.
Yeah.
Fuck it. And
Yeah.
then they go eat half a cake. That's
Exactly.
the worst thing you can do. You're
Right.
fine.
Yeah.
You're fine. You're going to get there.
Yeah.
This is just part of your body doing what it needs to do.
Yeah.
And you need to not be ignorant about it.
Right. And that she said it perfectly. If you guys are not ignorant about weight and the way it fluctuates, you're going to be able to teach others. And then you're going to be able to calm their emotions down. If you can calm their emotions, they're going to trust you. They're going to do everything that you say.
So be hard on yourself, but also be empathetic and understand all the things that your body's doing to create nice, lean muscle.
Yeah, exactly. It is science. It's
Mhm.
not just food.
Right.
Yeah. And then the self-punishment, we're going to work through that.
Right.
The understanding of that to stop that. What you're calling a vice or doing something nice for yourself, no, you're not. You're harming the self. So that's what we want to try to be a fitness coach to help teach people to stop doing that kind of shit.
Okay.
All right. So mindful eating, we were talking about that. So we
Yeah.
got to move a little bit quicker.
That's true.
So on the mindful eating, you can read a lot of that stuff on your own for
Don't
mindful
watch
eating.
TV and eat.
Yeah. Protein, eating protein for breakfast, that's critical. Some of this stuff you guys know, but we also have the science behind it,
Yeah.
like the hunger hormone, ghrelin, and then there was another one, the other hunger hormone. It's not in this, it's on the next page. But just reading that about that, get that information in. Boosting your metabolic rate will help you lose body fat. That is something that we will talk about in a little bit more detail, but most people's metabolic rates suck. They're actually slow. Most of you don't even know what it is. You haven't even done the basal metabolic calculator to know what is the amount of calories I'm supposed to have every 24 hours. Just knowing that gives you more information, more power. So you're not wondering, should I eat 1,200 calories? Should I eat 3,000? Should I eat 500? Knowing what your basal metabolic rate, it's a very easy calculator you can find online. Just another piece of information you should know. All right, you go on that. Now we're talking about the foods that burn fat, because if we can incorporate in your life, you eating a level of foods and supplements that help you burn fat and a way of working out that makes you burn fat. Now we've made a lifestyle, given you a lifestyle. There's way more of this and way less of this.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now she's getting ready to tell you some of the foods that burn fat. You can read the details. We're just going to kind of cover these foods.
So
I don't like them all, so don't think you're supposed to like them. Don't force feed yourself. If you don't like it, you're not going to eat it. But you're just trying to add as many as you can.
Yeah. All right. So fatty fish, like salmon, has the great combination of protein and fat. These are the two things that are going to make you feel the most satiated and actually calm that hunger down and keep you fullest longest. Fish is also really good because it's one of the more easy to digest meats. And so that means you're not going to be burping it up a lot afterwards. It's not going to cause indigestion. Whenever you eat something that's hard to digest, red meat is one of those things, for example, you want to give your body a longer window to digest it. So that's why it's good to have that for dinner, for example, because you don't want to start shoving other shit down the pipe when your body needs longer to digest something that's harder to digest.
Okay, MCT oil. So
It's your skinny bottle.
MCTs, yeah, well, no, coconut oil's on there too, so I'm going to save it for number 5.
Oh, okay.
So MCTs are just it's already a broken down fat. And so it's good to just put in your tea or your coffee, but don't put it in a styrofoam cup because it eats a styrofoam.
Yeah,
right?
don't do that.
And it just pours all over you. So I learned that. It's not fun, doesn't feel good. No MCT in your styrofoam cup. So, but it's great. It's fantastic for metabolism, fantastic for just giving your body those broken down fatty acids.
Side note, I don't think any of you guys will fuck this up, but when we're saying these are things to put into your daily caloric intake for your diet, not add on top of. I had a girl get on the scale one time and it was like her first or second week of Body by Todd. And she was like, it didn't move at all. And she was like, I was doing everything right. I ate everything you said to eat. And just in my intuition, I just knew. And I was like, are you replacing your other foods with the things we said to eat? Or are you eating everything good I said on top of all your other shit food? And now you're working out, so now your weight's the same. She was like, no, I just added that on. I was like, oh my God. Come to a workout facility and you double your food intake.
Yeah. All
So
right,
these are in place of.
Yeah, in place of. All right, coffee for those of you who can handle it. Again, all of us have some type of food allergy one way or another. Most of us do. I could never go near coffee or any kind of caffeine. If you can handle it, coffee's on the list of actual item that actually helps you burn fat.
Mhm.
Eggs, again, if you're not intolerant to eggs, don't eat anything you're allergic to for any reason. But if you're not intolerant to eggs, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
We do use egg white protein as one of our proteins.
Yep.
There you go.
Coconut oil.
There we go. There's
And
the
you can
coconut
use the
oil.
bad guy also.
And it's, yeah, and that other one, the
Yeah.
lard one too, but the coconut oil is just fantastic. Again, it's got medium chain triglycerides already broken down. So this would be cheaper to buy this than MCT oil, by the way. So it
Yeah.
is cheaper to buy that one.
It is an MCT, but
Yeah.
they sell you the fancy stuff
Exactly.
also.
Green tea. Green tea is good. Again, careful with green tea, people. It will make an ulcer in your gut if you get too habitual. All of a sudden, tasted metal in your mouth. Metal, that's the ulcer, and you caused it. Too much green tea. I was doing it with those Lipton green tea iced teas. Oh, they were
yeah.
so good. Way too often. Daily, be careful. So
Big
be
sugar,
careful.
that's an
You,
elder.
it can make an ulcer. Just drinking plain old green tea too often can make an ulcer. But that is one of the whey protein. That's one of our main ones, Formula 15. So whey protein is very, very good on the metabolism. It really speeds the metabolism up a lot, as long as you're not allergic to it. Number 8, apple cider vinegar. We are big fans of this. Again, as being a type 3 diabetic, insulin resistant, that is one of the number one ways I cured it and got it 100% out of my body. So I did the apple cider vinegar on my intermittent fasting time, because I wouldn't eat until about 2 in the afternoon, because I would eat like at 11, then wouldn't eat again until 2. And so I had that and a little bit of lemon juice in my water all the way till 2 p.m. And it completely started to fix all the insulin resistance. So it's huge. Too much belly fat, you get in the habit of apple cider vinegar with your water. It starts to clean your liver. Another sign that you have fatty liver is belly fat. So if you got belly fat, your liver's too fatty, apple cider vinegar and water helps clean the fat out of your liver. The cleaner we can get your livers, the more fat you burn, the faster you drop belly fat and trunk fat. So it's critical to incorporate that. Some people say it tastes like shit. Yeah, it does, but put a little bit of lemon juice in it or lime juice in it. You can get through it. You build a habit. It's just a tablespoon in a whole 20-ounce glass of water.
I make like a soda version out of it where I do sparkling water, so like Perrier, and then a splash of the apple cider vinegar. And then I'm obsessed with fresh ginger, so I throw that in and let that like sit in there overnight.
Oh.
And then some lemon juice, and then a little bit of agave, or like a stevia packet or something.
Well, you can't do that if you're in your intermittent fasting window.
Well, you can do like the stevia packet.
Oh, that counts?
There's no sugar. Yeah, it doesn't affect your blood sugar at all.
Okay.
But then it also works as a natural appetite suppressant. So I drink apple cider vinegar.
Very true.
Part of my concoction in my giant bottle. That's every afternoon.
Okay.
Like when you want to snack on stuff.
Yeah.
Not only does it help to put a lot of liquid and water in to fill up your belly, because a lot of times when you're hungry, you're actually thirsty.
Yes, you are.
So if you drink water and stay, full on water throughout the day, then you're only actually going to be eating when you're genuinely hungry.
Yeah.
So I'll drink that apple cider vinegar concoction in the afternoon because that's when I naturally want to snack, especially sweet things.
Yeah.
And so it helps control your blood sugar from all the food that you've eaten so far during the day, and then controls your appetite so you don't want to snack in the afternoon.
Totally.
And it also helps with digestion. It has a prebiotic in it.
Okay. I didn't know that one.
Yeah.
One more thing I do know, if you get hiccups, because nothing drives me more nuts than hiccups, is apple cider vinegar with your water. Take a couple sips of it. The ACV totally makes hiccups go away. So those drive me nuts. I hate those. All right, 9 was chili peppers, clearly hot stuff. I just learned a couple days ago, I have a client in Australia, a model, and she was telling me that she was getting too bloated on last month's diet. And sure enough, I counted how many different meals I had that were spicy, and she cannot tolerate too much spice. And so sometimes, and Christy, you're going to be the next one that I'm testing that on. Sometimes when I get people and they're just bloating too much and I've removed everything they're allergic to in their diet, it could be too much spicy food because it is inflaming. Inflaming to burn fat is fine, but if it's too often, which it was for this girl, too many times in the week, she was getting too bloated and the weight wasn't moving on the scale.
Yeah, and that's
just
in
know
the
that.
same category as like caffeine. Like certain people are sensitive to spicy food, certain people are sensitive to caffeine, and they can barely tolerate it.
And you bloat. So just know that. Oolong tea, very similar to the green tea. Olive oil, best of all the oils. Please, people, stay away from the GMO oil. Vegetable canola is just shit. It's terrible for you. You don't want those GMOs in your body, especially females. They are hormone disruptors, and you do not want that.
You do
So,
not need extra estrogen.
no, 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 no.
And men don't either.
No, no, men don't need estrogen either. So
Yeah.
just try to keep it all olive oil or your coconut oil if you can. All right, we got to go a little bit faster. We're at 26 out of 37 here. This one is
Fruits that are fat burners. Grapefruit, it's an awesome fat burner. Also has an appetite suppressant quality to it. Apples, the fiber, I think it's the pectin. That's a natural appetite suppressant, helps burn body fat. Avocados. Oh, avocado oil is another.
yeah,
good
that's
one.
another good one.
Avocados help control blood sugar also. Bananas, although bananas are one of the higher sugar fruits, they actually have something in them that helps you burn belly fat.
But I wouldn't do that daily.
Exactly. And also, it also depends on your level of insulin sensitivity.
Yep.
If you can tolerate bananas. Now that I've been doing more IEC and that I've been eating lower sugar for, a couple years now, basically, I can tolerate bananas.
Okay.
And where they used to like spike my blood sugar too
Okay.
much before.
So that's what you, that's that you need to listen to that. If you eat bananas, you're like, oh my God, I'm so hungry.
Yeah.
You want to go eat right away. It's just too crazy for your blood
They
sugar.
used to
So
make
your
you
insulin's not,
hungrier.
yep.
Where this
That
is
means
first
the insulin's
time
not under
that
control
I
yet.
can actually eat bananas and they don't like spike me like that.
That's how you know your insulin's too out of whack still. Managing sugar and refined carbohydrate intake. You're going to read that in more detail about processed foods, excess glucose, what it's going to do when it enters your body and so forth. You can read that.
You all know stay away, but that's why.
Eating plenty of fiber, you're going to read that deeper. When it comes to fiber, fruits and vegetables are your best form of fiber, way more than grain.
Yeah.
Again, people that have grain allergies, stay away from those grains. Don't bring foods that you're allergic to in your body. It's too much stress.
Yeah, and fibers are supposed to help with your digestion and also help stabilize your blood sugar. When I was, eating all the grains that they tell you to eat because they're supposed to be good for you to get your fiber in, I noticed that the amount of carbs that you have to consume to get that desirable amount of fiber in was making me fucking pass out from complete just like carb overload, complete comatose.
Yeah.
So that didn't work for me. So just focus on the fruits and veggies. You don't need to stock up with all the hefty grains and shit like that. Also, when you're shoving that many grains through your system, it's just too much. It was the worst thing I could have done for my digestion.
Exactly.
Horrible.
I couldn't agree more.
Don't eat bagels that have fiber added. Any fiber added grain, that's one of the worst things you can do. I had to put it on a sweatshirt in the middle of May one time because I looked like I was 7 months pregnant. That's how bloated a bagel made me.
Careful. All right, so fruits and veggies for your fiber is the best form of fiber you could be eating. A little bit of beans, a little bit of nuts.
If you can tolerate it.
Yep, exactly. Balancing gut bacteria, we're very big into this. So just understanding gut bacteria. You cannot be a fit coach or a health coach without understanding the gut biome, understanding food allergies, because so many people have them and don't even realize it. So this is going to be an extensive study. I just want you guys to read that deeper, get much deeper into the understanding of the gut.
All of our protein powders have pre and probiotics in them, which are very important for the gut biome. And with everything going on with the coronavirus right now, the number one thing you can do to increase your immune system is have a healthy gut biome. So that's actually like the start of your immune system.
Sure is. Getting a good night's sleep. That's another thing I can tell you is when you are stressed out, another one of these coming up is going to be about stress. Stress increases cortisol. And low self-esteem, talking negative to yourself. We said talk truth to yourself. We didn't say talk negative to yourself. I'm a piece of shit. I look like shit. That's not motivational. And that's not the truth anyway. So no, I'm fat. My stomach is sitting on my lap and I hate how this feels and I'm going to do something about it. That's telling the truth. That's not cutting on the self. Well, that's the same thing with stress. You don't want to increase your cortisol levels by talking mean to yourself or just having I have a lot of clients that I have to make up stress management programs for them because they don't know how to handle their stress. So all the work we do in the session, all the work I do with the diet, and then they bomb every weekend because they think the weekends are where they're going to get wasted, drink a bunch of wine, and they think they're unwinding, but they're not. They're just trashing themselves because they don't have a 7-day-a-week stress management program. How do I think? When do I do some yoga? How do I calm myself down? How do I nurture myself? It's much more nurturing to go buy a pair of Nikes than 3 bottles of wine. I promise. You'll love the shoes longer. The wine is going to get pissed out. So that's the stuff that we got to teach, that we teach as a fit coach. You are trying to be a role model of this is what you do to calm down, have a good night's sleep, and keep your stress under control. It's critical.
If you don't get a good night's sleep, then A, you can't function. B, you don't have enough energy to work out. C, your body's not in the fat burning zone.
Yeah.
And D, you're going to be really fucking hungry, and then it's just going to mess everything up.
Exactly. So outdoor activities, I know this personally. I love the sun.
Yeah.
I cannot stand dark days. I cannot stand rain. I cannot stand darkness. I love the sun. I'm up for 5 or 6 hours in the morning. I've got my whole entire day done already. 6 miles of walking in, all that, because I love being outdoors. So outdoors is a critical place for you to take yourself to bring stress levels down.
Yeah.
Taking your shoes and socks off, feet in the ground, feet in the grass, whatever you need, feet on your balcony, doing some yoga poses, whatever it takes. Get outside as often as possible. It brings cortisol down naturally. So that's critical. I love seeing Cheryl out there. It's ideal to be outdoors as much as possible. Okay, so we're almost wrapped up here. We're at 32 of 37 slides here. So this one is just pretty much a sum up. Plan and execute for lifelong weight control.
Number one, add more protein to your diet. That's why we are a protein foods company. Number one, it's the number one thing to boost your metabolism. Protein, through the thermogenic effect on your body, burns up to 30% of the calories that you're eating just in the digestion process. So that's why we focus on protein, because it is one of the only things that actually burns some of the food that you're ingesting.
Yeah.
Number two, eat whole, single ingredient foods.
Yeah.
We all know what that means. 3, stock up on healthy foods and snacks.
Don't have shit in the house.
We all know from quarantine snacking, if it's in there, you're going to eat it. Don't have it.
Don't have it in the house. Kids don't need it. Your partner doesn't need it. Nobody needs it. Those
needs
are
it.
excuses that are being made.
Everybody needs to be healthier because
Yes.
of you.
And when you're the leader of the house, you make sure that's the stuff that's in the house as the leader.
And we just made Todd try a vegan protein shake for the first time, and he was like, you know what? I don't mind it. He's like, my tastes have actually changed.
Yeah. And
So,
that will happen.
It's very true. When you don't have shit in your house, you don't miss it.
Yeah.
And you actually want a banana. You want fresh peaches. You want fresh fruit.
Yeah.
And you crave those things.
Yep. All right. Take probiotics, prebiotics.
It's in our protein shakes.
Yeah, that's in our shake too. But if you need it, if you're one of those people that you just don't digest your food very well, that's kind of big. We're going to get deeper into actual natural supplements with Michelle, who's on this call. But Michelle is just so thorough in her understanding of a lot of this stuff. So it's going to be so much fun when she goes into a lesson that she's going to do with us, talking about natural supplements, how they heal, how they help. I mean, my eyes were breaking out, itching, bleeding all over. Just the help that she did for me was phenomenal. So I've used every single one of her tips and they work fantastic. So that right there, that's another thing that you're going to get good at knowing. People need the supplements, they need the diet, they need the workouts, and they need to know how to treat themselves good and how to be driven to their goals. That's what you're going to do as a coach. Brush your teeth after meals. Obviously, they said no one likes to eat after they brush their teeth. So just if you're doing intermittent fasting a little longer, I brush my teeth extra. I do 3 or 4 teeth brushing so I get that cinnamon flavor in my mouth. That's just a tip. Add resistance exercises. Obviously, that's critical to actually changing your entire metabolic process. Now we're talking about the best nutrition supplements for weight loss. Again, this is you all before you even refer other people to it. L-carnitine green tea extract. That's always the fat burners we use in all of our fat burners and detoxes.
Those are 2 of the main ingredients in our fat burners because they're the most natural and they actually burn fat and help your body to burn fat. They don't just make you feel like you snorted cocaine.
That's so stupid.
That's not what a fat burner is supposed to make you feel like.
Jittery doesn't mean the fat burner's working. It's what it's doing is aggravating the fuck out of your nervous system.
Right.
And I promise when it wears off, your nervous system goes, okay, now I want soft pretzels.
Right. It's actually going to give you adrenal fatigue, which is a whole nother set of issues.
No, I need Domino's. Yeah, I want the crust on Domino's when that stuff wears off. So those things don't help you. You don't want a jitter. You tell them about CLA. You like CLA.
CLA is another healthy fat. It helps your body burn body fat. It helps stimulate your brown fat cells. And those are the ones that help burn body fat. Also, I noticed when you're eating in a way where it stimulates your brown fat cells, you feel full on so much less food.
Love it.
And you don't crave food.
Love it.
And you stay full for longer. So
Love
that's
it.
actually the way your body's designed
Love
to
it.
work.
Love
so
it.
we're just trying to get your body back to the way it's designed to work from the inside out.
Love it. Chromium picolinate, all you people from Body by Todd, you know that that was a mantra I preached for 3 decades. Anyway, chromium picolinate stabilizes blood sugar for those of us who had type 3 diabetes, or you got diabetes in your family. But my grandfather was an identical twin, died at 50. His twin died at 29, both with diabetes. So I have it all over my family. And alcoholism is diabetes as well. So if you've got that all over your family, get chromium picolinate in your lifestyle. Doesn't even have to be daily. It's just having it in there on a weekly basis. Chromium will stabilize blood sugar. If you go and you pig out or you go drinking, when you get home, you drink some water and you take chromium after a night of drinking, it's going to bring your blood sugar back to normal so you don't binge when you wake up the next day.
But this is not one of those things where you can take like 5 if you eat a lot of carbs.
Don't do that.
Because then you're going to make yourself hypoglycemic.
Don't do that.
We've had people do it all.
Yeah, exactly. So. They think they drank a bunch, so they should take a bunch of chromium.
Yeah,
no, 1 for every 50 pounds of body weight
Yeah.
is all you do on chromium. That keeps it stable in your blood, your body. All right, the last 2 things. So recipe of the week. So every week we're going to talk about something healthy, because when you have clients, you got to constantly give ideas, different recipe ideas and that kind of stuff. Some of you may already know of cauliflower pizza crust. Oh my God, this stuff is so great. Anyway, cauliflower is in the pizza section, and we just get the crust only, 2 crusts in the box. So this one comes with 2 crusts in it, and then and it's that big. They're huge.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this is our way of not having any grain. So we don't bring in any breads or anything in our diet. We just use that. And whether you make pizza with it, you make garlic bread with it, just put oil, put your garlic salt and your salt and pepper.
You made paninis.
What?
Remember when you made paninis?
Oh, yeah.
Really good.
So you could take it, I cut it in half and put like turkey and our fake cheese and put the other half on it and grill that on a grill. I make the whole thing, and I will just put oil and some of that. Diane told me about that, everything but the bagel sprinkle stuff. I put that all over it, cut it into like 6 pieces, grill that in a skillet, put it in the fridge, and just one of those underneath the turkey burger or chicken burger. And now it feels, or a hot dog, a whole beef, 100% beef hot dog. I'm like, we get to eat hot dogs again. So without the bun. So you don't have to worry about a bun. You just have that at the bottom. You cut that on there. And so it's just an awesome thing to be able to incorporate in your lifestyle, so you don't want to go back to eating regular pizza and regular buns and all that, and it keeps your weight under control. A lot of times if you swing and you go too far and you're like having regular pizza and regular beer and all that stuff on the weekend, easy 7 to 10 pound weight gain from all that water retention.
It's ridiculous how many calories. Like when you start making your own good healthy stuff, it's actually good and you actually want it. And then when you go look at the amount of calories that's in like a real Domino's pizza, you'll be floored.
Yeah.
It's just so not even close to worth it.
Yeah, exactly. So you got to weigh that out yourself. You know, is this really worth it? Once in a while, totally, you get away with it. But every weekend, 4 weekends a month, you do great all week, 4 weekends a month, you do shit, you're going to trash your whole month. And so that's kind of what we want to try to incorporate, giving you things and ideas that you can use it. It never feels like you need the weekend to actually binge. You can eat good all the time and still have fun stuff. Yeah. All right, there's our contact info on that one. And then there's the studio address and then phone. Otherwise, peace out. We'll see you at 7:30 next Tuesday for the workout.
Yes, and you